Hey, it's Mrs. Golding. I want to go through this week's graph of the week. The title is Video Games. So, this first graph is a bar graph. It's multiple bars, right? So, we have hours spent playing video games per week by age group. So, there was a survey done in 2018, and those results are yellow. And there was a survey done in 2019, and those results are red. So if we look at this, what do you notice? So these are age groups, 18 to 25, a little bit older than you, all the way up to 60 plus, people over 60 years old. And I want you to kind of make note of a few things. First of all, what's true of every age group? Well, what's true of every age group, according to this data, is that in 2019, every age group increased the hours spent playing video games each week. And so my question would be, why? I don't know. Maybe you have an idea of why that might be. Then the next question I might ask is, I wonder which one increased the most. And so I would kind of look at these two numbers here and see which one has the greatest difference. This only has 0.70. This one, well, let's just look at the length from here to here, from here to here. These look pretty close. This one has the smallest. Is it smaller than that one? 4.93. Let's just check that. We need a calculator, don't we? Let's pull up a calculator. And so when we pull up a calculator, okay, let's try that 26 to 35 range. And so we've got 8.21 in 2019 minus 6.51 in 2018. Okay, a difference of 1 and 7/10. Okay, maybe we need to write that down somewhere. Let's go ahead and make a little note. I think I can smoosh that down. Smoosh it. Ooh. Oh, move you over here. Smoosh it. What was that number? Ooh, I bet you remember and I don't. 1.71 maybe? Ooh, why is this so bad? And then 7.76. Come back over here. 7.76. That was the survey of 36 to 45-year-olds in 2019. Minus 617. 1.59. Okay. And then which other one? We thought those were pretty close. So it looks like the one that had the biggest difference was 26 to 35-year-olds. So then you might ask yourself, why? Why would 26 to 35-year-olds have increased the number of hours of video games per week the most between 2018 and 2019? And I don't know the answer to that. But maybe you do, or maybe you have an idea. Maybe you have an hypothesis. And sharing an idea or an hypothesis is fabulous when you're looking at data. Maybe there's other things that you can see here also. You might ask, why is it that 60 plus year olds are the ones that play video games the least? Maybe there's something here that surprises you, and you might actually write something like, I'm surprised that people over the age of 60 play video games at all. What is that? 4.93 hours. So 5 hours a day. Or almost 6 hours a day. There's some 60 plus year old people who play video games for 6 hours a day. You might ask the question of yourself, what video games do they play? Right? And so if you're asking yourself that question, which is one that I asked, I said, well, what video games do people play? And I'm going to fess up to the fact that I don't know hardly anything about video games. And so I find this interesting because I feel like it's outside of my world. And so I'm interested to know more about it. I hope you get excited about things, even things that aren't in your realm, like that don't involve you, but you want to know more about. So this says top mobile games. Now, I'm not so savvy on all this, but a mobile game, I guess, would be different than like, yeah, I'm going to be ignorant here. I think it's like an Xbox or a PlayStation, right? Those are not mobile, I think, right? Somebody correct me. So I'm thinking mobile would be like on a phone, I suppose, or like on a tablet. Maybe somebody can help me out. Okay, so these are top mobile games worldwide, 2020. So this says overall revenue. Revenue is a word that means the amount of money something makes. Revenue. This is App Store revenue, and this is Google Play revenue. Okay, so I guess this would be Apple, and this would be Android, right? So we're talking phones and tablets and stuff. So overall revenue, the winner, and I guess that's between both of these platforms, maybe you would say that, or operating systems. Honor of Kings. Has anybody ever played that? I have not. Now, as I look, I'm like, what do these little triangles mean, right? So you might, when you look at data, like, I wonder. Does not include revenue from third-party Android stores in China or other regions. If it has a triangle that's green, it says rank up over last month. So I guess that means it was on the up and up. And then rank down over last month, meaning it was kind of headed down. And if it had a yellow star, it was new to the top chart. So it was like, ooh, this is a new one. So Rise of Kingdoms was new. I see a lot of stuff about kingdoms. Kings, Three Kingdoms, Rise of Kingdoms. So I'm assuming those are games about like castles and kings and enchantment and those kinds of things. Looks like, well, I know Pokemon. That's an old one. I know Pokemon Go. That is one I've actually played. Candy Crush. I know a lot of people play that my age, but I've never played it. Do you find anything surprising? Those of you that know more about this than I do. Maybe is it surprising to you? It looks like Pokemon is more popular on Android devices than it is on Apple devices. I wonder why that would be. Candy Crush is more popular on Android devices than Apple devices. I wonder if it has to do with the age group that buys these. I don't know. That might be something you could talk about. What's another one? CoinMaster. And CoinMaster doesn't even show up at all here in the App Store. Now, does that mean that this doesn't exist in the App Store? Are all gaming apps in both places? And I don't know the answer to that. Maybe you do. Maybe it means either it's not as popular here or it just doesn't even exist. Maybe they just made it for one operating system. So there's a lot of things you could talk about here. And if you know about some of these, you can be like, hey, I love to play Honor of Kings. And this is such a cool game. And I think it's pretty cool that that it's, the overall revenue winner in 2020. Or I tried Pokemon Go, and I used to like to play it, but not so much anymore. And it looks like that might be what other people are saying. Right here, it's kind of that downward arrow. So again, there's a ton of things that you could talk about here. So you're going to write your reflection to 7 sentences, and it can be about both of these or just one of them. Hopefully, it's something you find interesting to talk about. I love to read your responses, and I'm looking forward to it. Hope you have a great week.